Welcome to the Great Plains Gravel Cup, powered by the SufferSooner podcast. If you're into riding gravel or just love a good challenge, you're in the right place. This is where we bring you all the gritty details from the world of gravel racing across Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska. We'll be covering 6 premier events, including Flint Hills, Open Range, Mule Skinner, Rock Ridge, Solstice, and Pony Express. All gravel, all awesome. Each episode will bring you stories from the leaders, race directors, first-timers, and some truly epic moments from these events. So buckle up and join us as we explore the heart of the gravel world. One race at a time. All right, welcome to the SufferSooner podcast. This is the Great Plains Gravel Cup recap. So joined today with Bobby Thompson, the mastermind behind the Great Plains Gravel Cup. So all your complaints could be sent to...
Well, let's start there.
No, let's that's a good place to start. Yeah.
This is feedback. I'm really curious, Bobby.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been what, how many months of this thing? And I mean, there's had to have been tons of people to stop.
So I think
you
we
and say, hey,
announced
you thought about this.
I mean, we announced it last September
at
Pony Express.
Yeah, so a full year.
Right. And then it became a reality in April after Flint Hills Gravel is when the first people started seeing points. And honestly, I think that was the first reaction of, wait a minute, how do we get points? Was in April between September and April, it was like, this is a cool idea. We're going to get points. And then when April hit, it was like, wait, how do we get points? So, which is fine. But that's kind of how life is. Life's busy. So until you have to see it or deal with it, then you deal with it. So
that's right.
So, yeah, I mean, there was growing pains through the year. There was a lot of education through the year. There was a couple of rules clarifications that were on me that were done during the year, that stuff I hadn't thought about. We just had to think about on the fly, or I thought about and didn't put on paper for everyone to see. So luckily we have, a very patient and group of gravel riders in our family. And they knew I felt like they thought I had the best intentions behind me. And so everything worked out well, and we learned a lot, and now we're ready for season 2.
All right.
So answered the question right there.
Yeah, that was the next question. So is there a season 2?
Oh yeah. There'll be,
and I guess that
definitely a season 2. Sorry. I keep looking back because I let the family cat outside, and that's a big deal in my house. And so I have to wait for her to come back to the door now. No, there'll be a season 2. So
no, he's looking back at the true person that runs the Gravel Cup.
Right.
Am I over
season 2? Yeah, you'll see a hand tap me on the shoulder every now and then.
So, well, that's good. That's so thinking on the Gravel Cup and the growing pains that we've had, that you've had, what do you think do you want to discuss some of the changes that you're going to bring, or is that still in infancy? I
don't foresee too many changes next year. We'll have as of right now, 90% sure we'll keep the same 6 events. I think they were spaced well throughout the season. I think the events themselves learned a little bit about how they want to handle the gravel series this year. Because, I mean, the intent was always never I don't want to be the UCI. I don't want to be USCP.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I don't want the gravel series to say you have to make these changes to be a part of it. But the reality of it is, I think there's some little minor things that some of the races can do to make it easier on themselves and us without changing their event whatsoever. Most of that's behind the scenes, like how they gather the data and get the data to me. And it's how I parse the data out. So a lot of that's just the number crunching that goes behind. It's nothing that you as a rider would see at all for the event. There will be, I think the beneficial things that'll change is as I get more comfortable and speed picks up on parsing out the data, which it did towards the end of the year. It allows me to be more creative and add some fun things. Like one thing I'm looking at next year would be the only race I have ever won in my career, like won outright, like the overall major category, was the first year of Bleeding Kansas, and because it was an enduro themed race style, and
Yeah.
that worked well for me. So so taking on that, something I can do behind the scenes using Strava is easy to add a cumulative KOM contest
Mm.
where
Oh, that'd be cool.
each race director is allowed to pick out a KOM segment or create a Strava segment during his or her event that becomes known and promoted. And basically, we add up those 6 events. I've thought about it. You would have to have like a 48 hour or 28 hour window to upload your data to Strava. After that,
It's cut off.
it's cut off so that someone doesn't come up to me 6 months later and say, "Hey, wait a minute, I just posted my data." No. And if you have an error with
Right.
Strava, that's on you, not me. So, I mean, stuff like that, I think will be a lot of fun, and also open the door to maybe some more potential partners that want to have fun with that. So,
Yeah.
Even local partners, that would open up the door to a local partner, like the local pizza joint or something like that, could do it for that
Sure.
that race, and it'd be a lot more cost effective way to do that. So, I think it'll broaden the series for a lot more people. So we can do things like that.
Yeah.
So
That'd be great. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. I'm going to kill myself on a climb just to get some.
I know. I'm sitting here thinking like, gosh,
Don't have to twist my arm on that one.
I'm like, how much pain can I endure for Mule Skinner to get the KOM? Because I know where the KOM segment's going to be.
Yeah.
You already know where that's
fair. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Yeah. So, and you can also do, if you use that same line of thought, you could have KO. You look at the Grand Tour
sprint
races.
segments.
There you go. You have sprint segments, and you have time trial segments. Time trial will be more of a flat, long type thing, like a 5 or 6 mile long one, and your sprint would be, doesn't have to be downhill dangerous. It can just be downhill a little bit, but fast. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've clearly been thinking about this for a little bit. I mean, there's like 4 or 5 ideas right in there that would spice up the competition a little bit. And then for folks that maybe aren't like in that GC category, if you will, it does kind of open it up a little bit. So if you have a different skill set, if you're a pure climber, but you're not a great, 130 mile rider, then that's okay.
Yeah.
Right? You still got a chance to go win some points and get your name at the top. So
yeah,
sweet.
My claim to fame is so Mike Marchand is a really good friend of mine, and my claim to fame is I beat him at Bleeding Kansas, and the only way I beat him at Bleeding Kansas was because I hit the segments hard, but he hit the whole race hard. Because the pointy end was, well, let's wear each other out, and that way we're slower on the segments, and it backfired because I rested and then hit the segments hard. And so yeah, I mean, it's just a different way to add a little fun for those of us that are maybe mid pack. So
yeah,
I like it. Good. Well, what do you think was some of the biggest learnings that you had coming with putting on this Cup series?
Well, the behind the scenes numbers was a big deal. It's a lot easier to tabulate the numbers when you're just doing it over 6 months off and on versus when you race on Saturday and you have to put 6 people on a podium on Saturday immediately after the race. And then you have to rush home, recover, but wait for the ride data to get to you on Sunday. And everybody's hammering you by Sunday night. Where did I stand at 70th place? Which is fair, which I love. I mean, that's what drives this series, right? If nobody cared about 70th place, then why am I doing all this? But so that's great. But it was definitely that part of it in the first 3 events because it was also a busy time of the year for me with my own doing it after my own event. For the very first time I'm exhausted for like 3 weeks after my event.
Right.
And then,
I bet, yeah.
Open range, it was homecoming for my senior homecoming for my daughter. So I had to rush home. And so that was a stressful weekend. I mean, it's just those little things like that. And then went right into Mule Skinner and I decided to race Mule Skinner. And so that added because I was out there. So it was like, boom, boom, boom. Holy heck. What are we doing here? I need a break till June.
Yeah.
But then it slowed down and I learned from all that too. So I think that'll be easier. Other things would be just the uniqueness of the events themselves and trying to get the podiums all set up and the riders on the podium and that kind of stuff in a timely manner meant that now I'm no longer just kind of working my 2 events. I'm working all 6 events. throughout the year. So just little reality slaps like that as the season went along,
Okay.
which were fine as after I became accustomed to it. It was fine. So
Yeah.
Good.
I'm just sitting here thinking about for next year. I'm already looking ahead to next year.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So we threw an idea out there on the podcast a few weeks back. It's been a few months now, but
Yeah. I don't know if Gabe's talked to you.
yeah, has Gabe talked to you? Because we got some ideas.
Gabe talks to me all the time.
We
Gabe's got all kinds of
we
ideas for anything and everything all the time. So
I mean, I'm really liking the idea. You know, we've got all the which by the way, the categories were perfect. I mean, great especially in having the younger class that was at 23 now.
Yeah, the U23s.
U23. Yep. So that's awesome. But what I'm thinking is I think each of these classes needs like a
not each of them. I'm thinking just the single speeds.
Oh yeah, the single speed.
They're the ones
but the single speeders are the special children, aren't they?
So they get the WWF old school heavyweight champion
champion
belt.
belt.
Sasha brought that up to me. You guys put it in Sasha's mind.
Yeah, we put it in Sasha's mind too.
That's right.
Gabe loved it.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things that we're gonna bring to the Gravel Cup. If you let us, Bobby, is we're gonna get us a SufferSooner WWF style belt that the single speeders will get.
So whoever takes the top step at the end of that race, you know, or whoever the points leader is, gets to hold on to the belt.
Gets to hold on to the belt until they're dethroned.
So that would be the other thing that'd be fun to add, but it just puts that much more effort into it, and I'd have to see how to play that out. Is we were only able to do the overall podiums just because of because of the logistics. It would be fun to do maybe just the overall for the other three categories at each event. Not have to worry about 2 and 3 and the numbers there, but just the overall, because that's kind of more doable. But then something like your wrestling belt, which I don't follow wrestling whatsoever. But I do think it's a funny idea for single speed. So I'm open to it.
They would love it. I think they'd love it. I'm
open to it. But yes, I would like to recognize the top of the podiums for the other 3 categories a little bit more often instead of just at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So
that I think that would probably be, and I feel your the pain definitely, because you know you have overall women's, overall men's, you have U23 men's, women's, you have single speed men's, women's, and you have masters men's, women's.
Right.
So you're looking at like quite a bit of podiums, and you have quite a bit of different skill set. It's one thing if they're all coming in at the same time,
right?
You know, but again, these courses are not easy, straightforward.
Right.
Like, oh, we've calculated the numbers. These guys should be in it, 4 hours. These guys should be like, no, gravel is not like that at all.
Right.
And so like, I feel that frustration for sure. Like, just, you're like, yeah, you can do the overall people because they're the ones that are coming in first, but your masters group may be, 30, 40 minutes behind.
Yeah. Well, and single speed's that way. We sometimes have a 3-hour time difference.
Right.
Between the points leader of the first and the third, not necessarily the race winner, right? Because that's not
right. Right.
But the points leaders for the overall.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, I definitely feel your thing. And again, like, I think that's a good thing for you to try to bring into the Gravel Cup. I just, I feel your woes about it, because like you again, you don't want to be spending, you have stuff to do too, and other things to do. You don't want to be spending.
I got a big drink. I got a couple beers I got to drink. That's very that is part of gravel, I mean,
exactly. We got stuff to do, so we can't be spending all day. But no, I think that's great. I think that's
water.
That's a good
kids
thing.
Under 21-year-olds or
water.
Or
just water.
Flavored water,
Juice
sparkling ice energy drink. You could do
that.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. So.
Well, we talked about the feedback. We've talked about, the fact that it's coming on again next year. Is there were you satisfied with the way the point structure played out and the way the drop race and that kind of stuff was is there any tweaks coming to that, or did you feel like you needed to, or
No, because I actually no, and I'm sure there's people smarter than me who may or may not want to argue with me on it, but you got to remember for the past, this wasn't on a whim.
Right.
I took last year's data before we even started this year, and I played out different scenarios. I played out, well, do we really need 40 points for the maximum amount of points? I mean, couldn't we do this on 30, or couldn't we do this on 20? But the point is you want to involve more people. And so
Right.
By doing that, then you open the door to, well, I can fight my buddy for 60th place. The more points you add, the more people it involves, because they don't just get 1 point.
Right.
And what I determined was, there's always somebody who's going to wish you gave out more points, and there's always people who are going to wish you gave out less. But by doing 40, what that does is it was a nice balance with the secondary distance of 20 points for that, because it kept those people in at least some kind of a points battle with their friends throughout the year. And the fewer points you give out, the fewer people who really get included in that. And you can go overboard on that too by giving out too many points, and then someone skips 2 races and they're way out of it because you gave 500 points away for first place.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it was a good balance, and in the numbers that I ran through the season, it was a good balance. I thought about giving fewer points for these secondary categories, since they're secondary categories, let's make these things tighter. But the thing is they weren't any tighter necessarily. The points between were smaller, but you could also earn more points. So it didn't really help or hinder anybody. It made it look tighter. It made it look like you were closer to somebody, but in reality, when there's only 4 people racing, you still can't catch that person, even if you're only one apart. So
that's right.
So that kind of stuff, I was comfortable with going into the season, and I'll look at the numbers hard here in another month before the next year, but I don't foresee that changing. I've had people ask me, well, what if you throw in a 7th, 8th, or 9th event and you only give like 5 points for going out and doing this event? And those 5 no, because that's not the point of this. The point of this is competition.
Right.
I don't always, I'm not big on gravel. It's about fun, that kind of stuff. But if you're going to make something that's about competition, then it has to be about competition. So going out and getting bonus points for doing something that's not really part of the competition. And I could do a whole different level of points for giveaways, and maybe you get more, but that's not the point of this series. So that's something.
And there's other ways to facilitate that.
Right.
Too.
That's
like
something the events could do.
Like
the events themselves, like at Flint Hills Gravel, if I wanted to give out more prizes, but I want to make it a points competition for prizes, go do that. That has no impact on the competition part of the series, right? So the events can be as creative as they want. That's the whole point of them being independent. But as far as the series, keep it simple, keep it racing, and it is what it is. So I don't see
what I like
changing too much.
That's one of the things I like the most about the series, and just trying to keep up with the standings throughout the year it's very simple to follow. I think a lot of these there's a lot of sports, and I'll just use like NASCAR racing is a good example, which no offense to fans of NASCAR racing, but it's a very hard sport to watch these days because there's so many different ways that they calculate, if you were a leader over a certain number of laps, and it's like you got to have a degree in mathematics to figure out what scenarios are about to play out in front of you. To me, it's like, I love the fact that your point system was very simple, very straightforward. What I really wish you would have done is like given me an opportunity to get some bonus points at the end, so I could have clawed over Travis. But or can you put a category that's like between the ages of 44 and 46, born on April?
I had a lot of requests. I had a lot of requests for bonus points, Trevor, and I had a lot of requests for more age categories, which, I mean, I would love more age categories too. I'm 52 and
Sure.
there's no way I can compete
Sure.
in the Masters, so I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Those
but-
guys are fast and cutthroat, man.
Yeah,
I'm not looking forward to when I step up to the Masters.
Just hope those
category.
guys all retire.
Yeah, I
out.
just hope those guys retire. 'cause
Dude, I've been
good
saying that
Lord,
since
they
I was
are-
in my 30s. I can't wait to get
I
to my
know.
40s because everybody retire. Oh, I can't wait to get to my 50s because everybody retire. Did you guys retire?
Right, exactly. It's like, can you guys just
Right.
retire
Right, so
already?
now it's going to be
No,
now it's going to be an attrition thing. I can't wait to get to 80. So
Right.
Yeah. So the races are going to stay the same, barring your races. What was your favorite race this year?
Oh, what a
just
question. Put 'em on the
Yeah.
spot.
just a ride, and just in and of itself a ride. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just because you rode every race except for your races because you were.
I rode,
directing.
I'm going to specify. I rode the medium distance at every race.
Sure.
Yes.
As
Yeah.
a race
So he-
as a race
basically, so-
director,
so
I
Bob-
sometimes put
So
my
Bobby could.
beautiful roads on the hundreds, not the 65.
Yes. Yes.
That's right.
I really, well, I love you, Eric, but you have an easy out this year because I didn't enjoy riding in the rain for 60 miles. If we were going through the cattle fields, that's a different story. So I have that easy out this year. Solstice, I actually didn't ride because I had some health issues that came up for Solstice night. It was a high wind day, and I didn't even feel it. It was not a good day for me health wise. So that puts Mule Skinner and Pony Express, and I'll just say that stats wise this year, I had the best stats at Mule Skinner.
Okay.
But I sure love riding up there in Marysville. So.
Yep.
Wow, that's a great non-answer. You must
You
be a
just-
lawyer in
yeah, you
another,
must
in
be,
another
yeah.
life.
You circled around that. You just ducking.
Bobby Thompson for president, folks.
Yep.
He's polishing the politics skills
Yep,
already.
exactly.
Oh, that's great.
That's good. Good.
Well,
Alright.
so I mean, it's somewhat bittersweet. I'm sure you're ready for a break after such a long season, and really not much of a break because you'll be back into race planning and getting the series ready for next year and everything. But after such a long season, you've obviously learned a lot about how you want to make some tweaks into next year. What's the off season look like for Bobby? I'm just curious. So, any news that you're going to be pushing out at any certain point in time for either the Cup Series or for your races for next year?
Well, the off season was last week. So
Yeah, there you go.
we are, I mean, honestly, I'm gearing up for Flint Hills Gravel already because our registration opens in a month and a half, believe it or not.
That's crazy.
I know. Unbound, their registration is 2 weeks before mine. So it's just, here we go again.
Yep.
So as far as pushing out more info or new data, I think the things you'll see coming out on the Gravel Cup Series is I haven't done a very good job on social media on reflecting on the season. And I think what you'll see between now and December is just calm and let's reflect on what we did this year. We did a good job of pushing out podium picks, but there are so many other things that occurred this year besides podium picks. I'd like to get some stories. You guys had a great battle for points this year. I'd like to get some more rider stories, and I think that's the most important thing to push out during the off season because sometimes we get caught up in this is racing, but it's also gravel riding, and
That's
gravel
right.
riding is done with friends. And one of the biggest things that came out of the series this year, I felt, was increased community between a growth in the community between the riders. I mean, I know, for instance, Bart Hobbs and Doug and Steve, they had a great battle, 1, 2, 3 for Masters this year, and it was a friendly battle. It was very, very competitive, but it was also extremely friendly between the three of them. And I believe going into the series, they didn't really know each other. So
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
we had Megan jump into the single speed category this year, and I didn't know Megan before this year, and Megan didn't know Sasha. And Sasha and Megan became a fun rivalry out on the gravel. They enjoyed riding with each other. So, there's little things like that I want to take the time to reflect on between now and next year, so that when we get to next year, we remember that it's also fun. So,
Yeah. Good.
Awesome.
All right. Well, Bobby, I want to thank you again for putting on an awesome event, and I look forward to next year.
Can't wait.
I can't wait. And, definitely if you guys check out this gravel cup, because it is fun, and it's the races are some of the best riding here in Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska.
Yep.
And it's kind of nice that Bobby has cherry picked a couple of really great events, and
shows how lucky we are to be in the area.
Yeah, which is
Well,
some of the awesomeness that we get to do.
Yeah.
So
that's very true.
again, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Hey, one thing before I go, I want to say
Yeah, for sure.
a big
Yeah,
thank you for taking a risk on me to Eric of Open Range, Kent and Jason of Mule Skinner, Joe of Solstice, and Mark and Renee of Pony Express. Thank you so much. And thanks to the sponsors for giving us a great season.
Yep. Absolutely.
So
yeah, and I want to thank those guys too for coming on and sharing their race on the podcast and stuff, and Bobby sharing your letting us giving us access to some of these riders, and I hope to do it again in the future.
Yep.
So all right,
you guys have been
Thanks
awesome.
very much.
Thank you.
All right, we're joined here with Courtney, the overall women's leader or winner of the Great Plains Gravel Cup. She was the leader for a long time.
She's like, how many more races are there?
Yeah, how many more races? She's like,
No
wait,
more.
I thought I won this whole thing. Why I got to go back? No,
Say it isn't
again,
so.
She not only won the overall women's, but she's in the master category too, and she won that too, which is just a testament to just fitness and just being bringing the A game, like
Every time.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had the pleasure of racing with Courtney, and again, she is a fierce competitor, and we were super stoked to see you actually take the overall win. So
it's awesome.
we love all the women that we're racing. We've raced with them, and and totally, we would have been super stoked for any of them,
Sure.
like Hannah and all those others, and just super stoked that we actually knew the winner of this cup.
It's fitting that our first race of the year was Dirty Disco.
Yes.
in Wichita, right? And then now here we are at the end of the year.
Yep.
Talking to Courtney yet again.
Yep.
So it's very fitting.
Yeah.
Bookends to the season. So nice work.
Yeah, great
Thanks.
job. So
It's funny you
So
say
let's-
that. I
let's
have
get
my
down-
own kind of bookends for those two races. I can talk about it.
yeah. So when we were racing at Dirty Disco, Courtney unfortunately had a accident, had a little crash, and went down and smacked her head pretty hard, and then had a little bit of a concussion that day. But to come back from that and then be able to, not only just outright win the gravel cup, but then just hold on to it for 3 full races, I think. Was that
So,
right? Yeah.
Sounds about
Yeah.
right.
So, Courtney, how did the beginning of the season, like, did you think you're like, all right, I got a chance at winning this, or you're just like, I'm just going to see what happens?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't. My goals for the year really shifted. I went into the cup just feeling like, well, I got to do this. What a cool opportunity! There's money on the line, and I compete. I mean, when I lace my shoes up or get on a bike, like it's a competition. And so I just I thought, well, we'll give it a go and see what happens. And had a rough start to my season overall, like you said, with Dirty Disco, and was pretty bummed about that. It's my local bike shop's race. I really kind of wanted to win that deal, but actually Paulina took the win, and that was enough for me to see her standing on
Yeah.
that podium. But yeah, so I just kind of went in with an open mind. At that point, I had already decided to pull out of Unbound 200. I just didn't really want to do it, frankly. That's a big
Yeah, it's a
commitment.
lot, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I had some personal goals too, just in my own life that I wanted to get through. And so I just knew that I kind of had 100 miles in me several times, but 200 for one race and the training
Yeah.
involved, I didn't want to do it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So rough start with Dirty Disco, but I just kept improving over time, because I was really interested and serious about the training. So that was exciting to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great. I was super stoked.
Yeah. You bring up a good point about the difference in training, because that 200-mile race and right smack in the middle of the season, it's a totally different training
Yeah.
regimen. It's wild to think like, oh, if you could do 200, that means you can do 100 hard enough, right, to win. But it's just not. It's totally different. Skill set that you're developing
Yeah.
along the way. So
That level of intensity for that long. I mean, if you're going to race it,
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's a difference between just writing it, wanting to complete it, and racing it.
Sure. Right.
And I tend to do the latter in everything I do, unfortunately.
Same here, girl.
better or for
Same
worse.
here.
That's right.
Yep. Same
Yep.
here.
Yep.
So,
So
yeah. So pulled out of that and
So-
did the 100 and carried on with the cup.
good. So thinking back about your season, what was the highlight race of your season? What was the your basically your most favorite race?
Solstice.
Okay.
I don't know. I
think-
had a good ride there.
Yeah. Yeah,
gonna
that's.
say,
I mean, that's where you took it over and started going. Like, do you think it was because the day was hard and you were able to dig deep?
Yeah.
Is that what
Yeah,
it
it was really
Yeah.
hard for people, and my fitness was like at its peak, I think, there this summer. The wind was just brutal there,
Right.
and people were going down, and I just felt strong, and I just remember those last several miles. Just I got kind of choked up, and I was just really proud of myself for my specific effort, and I mean, knowing
Yeah.
that I was in the front, but really just knowing what I accomplished for me, it was cool.
I was hoping you'd say Solstice, because I remember when the train you were in came through, when Travis and I were riding along.
And you guys just were like, laters.
Just motored through, and I was like, holy smokes, like that group is strong right
Yeah.
now. And you looked super strong, so it's very fitting that was also the race you took over the lead,
Yeah.
never gave it back. But
Yeah.
but I mean, you were super, super strong that day. I had to think that was your best race of the year, no doubt.
Yeah.
So
And it was a new venue, new event for me too. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
yeah.
Good.
I'll tell you,
So-
Mule Skinner,
Yeah. Go.
I really loved that course. I liked the distance of that course and everything. So that was a fun actual ray,
Yeah.
the course.
You-
I enjoyed too.
Yeah. Yeah, I like running with scissors and razor blades too, but
Yeah.
that's kind of what that course felt like to me, was because that was nothing but sharp pain every minute.
Yeah, especially for me,
It was a tough one.
it was just beating me down by the end, and
Right.
then to think,
Yeah.
I didn't know the Masters guys that I was racing with, but I thought they were in my age group, and I was like, you're not gonna pit me at the line, man. Like, just don't do it. Like, you guys are mean. And yeah, so I remember digging deep at Mule Skinner for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. Let's see here. So we have the most favorite race, and then what are you taking from the Gravel Cup as far as like, your fitness, your ability to compete, or
the confidence.
the confidence. Yeah. Like what
What
did
you've
you
learned.
gain most
Yeah.
from the Gravel Cup?
That you can be 50 and I'm about to get choked up, and before I do it, I got to explain this. I haven't slept since like yesterday. I just rode across Kansas, and I'm really sleep
Nice.
deprived.
Yep.
But I'll tell you that it's being 50 and winning this is the most important part of it, because no matter what age you are, I just feel like I've proved to women that you can get after it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
get it done. I mean, Hannah's just had her 33rd birthday. She's a beast,
Yeah.
and I beat
Yeah.
her. Like, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
son was like, "Mom," he's 16, "Mom, really?" Yeah, I'm like, "Yes, I'm ahead. I
Yeah.
can do this." Haley, I think I can be her mom, to be honest. um, and really, and I think
Yeah.
she's 24. Trisha, I don't even think is 30 yet. Paulina, I think is a little, she's a mom and maybe a little closer in my range, but I, I, I told myself last year, turning 50, that that's not going to stop me. It's going to do the opposite. And
Hmm.
that I think was my biggest takeaway, is just, showing myself that I can do this, and
Yeah.
keep getting stronger.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that you definitely, from riding with you and hanging out with you at the finish lines and stuff, is that you always bring the whole attitude of, like, age is just a number.
Yeah.
Like, if I didn't know you were a Masters athlete until I saw your name on the roster, and then you, of course, you told me your age afterwards. But, like, in the beginning, I was like, man, this girl's probably like in her 30s. Like, come on, like, she's she just acts like one of us, like, just like a kid at heart. Like, to go out there and race bikes and do all this stuff, like, you have to tap into that child side of you, because
Yeah.
when you think about it, we're pedaling our bikes in the middle of nowhere.
Sure.
Like, who does that,
Yeah.
except for crazy people
Crazy
like
folks.
us. Yeah,
Yeah,
crazy folks.
yeah.
But
Like
I think
us.
that's just great. And I love that fact that, all the women in this cup, have been very supportive of every other woman in this cup, which
Yeah,
is
it's been
just
awesome to watch.
awesome. I just think that just shows, for any of the women that are listening to this, that, this community is very inviting.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of us, we don't really care if you come in last or first or
Yeah.
whatever. We just are so happy,
Mm-hmm.
and for you to be out there doing this kind of stuff. And I think
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah. I think too, I see a lot of folks, they a lot of people do hit a point in their life, whether it's a milestone like 50 or just some other point in life where maybe they have this reflection, like, I'm just not as good as I used to be, or maybe they think they can't be as good as they used to be. And I love how you said that a minute ago, that, when you turn 50, you weren't going to let that stop you, that you're going to use that to be stronger. And I think folks, I hope the tide is turning on this, because
Yeah.
a lot of people, I think, feel like, oh, you start to get older, you slow down. Oh, I just can't do what I used to do. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, I know at some point, Father Time always wins.
Yeah.
But at some point, but like,
I'm gonna make sure that he has to win at the very end.
Yeah,
like
right?
not
Exactly.
at
Exactly.
not
And
as long as there's breath in me, I'm gonna
right.
yeah.
And I think you've proven. I hope it's not just to women. I hope a lot of men take away from this too, that as you get older, you actually can get stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't have to let your best days be behind you. Just
Yep.
Right.
keep working and keep getting stronger. And whether it's in the time or not, like your
Yeah.
finish times or not, you are getting stronger as you keep
Yep.
doing these things, and you just accomplish more and more. I think
Yep.
it's an awesome lesson a lot of people can learn, not just females, but I think anybody can learn a lot from what you just accomplished this year.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Super big inspiration for sure.
for sure.
So the Gravel Cup next year, if Bobby's having it, which I hope he is, I think he is. we'll find out. Are you going to do it again next year? Are you going to come and defend your title?
It's, I heard Gabe say consistency is everything.
Yeah.
It
Sure.
is. He's not
Yeah.
lying. And I I love supporting these grassroots. I don't know. I don't know is the
Okay.
answer. I don't I've got to decide on Unbound. I've got to decide on a few other things. I've got some running goals that were sidelined this year that I need to tackle. Mid South Double is one of those. I do know that's on my, it's probably my A race.
Hmm.
I'd maybe like to do 200. My riding buddy, Kelly, Kelly Wentz. He's always tackling that and Unbound. So maybe I'll get talked into the 200 again. I'm really just on the fence. I assume we're going to probably go south. So
Yep.
I've done the 100 south, but not the 200, and so I might give it a go. But we'll see. I'm not sure if the Cup is in the cards, but definitely will return for some of those races. Open range, I mean, I'll see you there.
Yeah,
For sure. Yeah.
Sans the
I think
rain.
that's right. Santa, yeah, definitely without rain. I think that's good to hear too, is that, you have some other bucket list stuff that you want to do. Like we all do, like, we all feel the pressure. I think I've felt that more this year than I think I have in the past year of what other stuff do I want to accomplish, and especially when again, I'm saying that we're not spring chickens and stuff, and you do feel that kind of pressure of like, well, how long will this last? How long will I be competitive?
Right.
Exactly.
And so you're like, well, I want to be competitive for as long as I can, but I also want to do some other stuff. So
Exactly.
it sounds like you got some stuff in the hopper that you're going to do. I don't think we're not going to ever see you again. It's not
I'll
like
be
you're
around.
like, well, I won it. I'm done. I'm out. I'm out. Retirement.
champion.
I'm going to go ahead and just retire, move down to Florida. We're done here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that money, the prize purse was such a boost. I mean, what age grouper gets to win money? Like that's
Right.
That's pretty awesome. And I've got it spent. I dropped a chain at 19ish on a little boarded river crossing early on at Pony Express, and I thought, oh Lordy, this is going to be a long day, and I had zero problems with my chain, but took it into the shop for post race checkover. Also, because I crashed at mile 75. I don't know if you all knew that, but it was a pretty big
No,
crash.
we did not.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And anyway, I need a new chain ring and a new cassette. It's just stripped. So that's why I dropped the chain. But so check $750 right there. My son said,
right.
so let me get this straight. You rode your bike to win money and you broke your bike at that race and you had to spend the money on the bike. I said, yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's figuring the game out.
Now
Isn't he?
you're like, now you're learning. Now you're learning.
Yep.
Yep. So
Yeah. It's not like nobody's retiring off the riches of being champion here.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
It
helped.
It just funds the habit.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. It just gets you in another race, basically. Well, I want to thank Courtney for her time and stuff. And so you're looking at some bucket list stuff, and then you just rode across Kansas.
Yeah.
Was it just for the fun of it?
Oh,
Or
boy.
was there something else? Were you
No,
raising
it was
money
big.
for stuff?
Yes. Yeah. So I had a team. They're a relay team of 4 people. The event was called Ride for Refugees, and
Okay.
each team raised money for their own cause that serves refugees in our local community here in Wichita. I serve on the board at Bike Walk Wichita here in our community, and we serve refugees by essentially giving them bikes for transportation to get around our community. And so that's what me and another writing friend of mine is also on the board, and then we had 2 other members of our team, so that's what we rode for. But various teams rode for various things. It wasn't a race. It was 418 miles, and we rode out about 10 together and then finished about 10 together. And then we each took about 20 mile poles.
Okay.
And we were cooking. We got finished at 3 a.m. and
Awesome.
right in your neck of the woods.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
At the border down near, I don't even know the name of the town now. But anyway, and then we took a picture by the Missouri sign and got in the car and drove home. So
Awesome.
That's
anyway,
great.
yeah. So
Now for some much needed sleep.
Yeah. Now for some much
For
needed
sure.
sleep, for sure.
For
Yep.
sure.
So, Well, that's great talking to you, Courtney, and it was awesome. And I'm sure we'll have you back on again because I would love to hear about the Mid-South double. If anybody wants to know about that, it's a 50K the day before, and then you go and ride Mid-South.
Yeah.
So, I think 2 years ago it was snowing, and then last year
Maybe 3
did the
years,
50. And then last year they had to cancel Mid-South because of the fires. But so we'll be all following Courtney through that whole thing.
Absolutely.
That'll be great. I'd love to hear her stories of how she's got the runner's high.
I was going to say, she's going to find the mythical runner's high out there.
At mile 30 out there.
It's not mythical. You'll find it one day.
It's not mythical.
Keep searching.
I keep searching. I never found it yet.
It's a lie.
It's a lie. It's what you runners tell us to keep
running.
Just to keep running. Yeah. That's what you do.
Yet you keep doing it.
All right.
Yeah,
That's right.
I keep doing. I keep looking.
That's right.
I have to find out if it's real.
It's like Charlie Brown in the football. You fall for it every time.
Every time. But it's great talking to you, Courtney. And again, awesome job on your win and
Thanks.
Your double win.
Yep.
And it was great. So.
All right.
Congratulations
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on.
All right. Thank you for listening to this episode. Please, if you like what we are doing here, leave a like, rate us, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. It really helps us grow and finds us more SufferSooner squad mates. And remember, when the finish line feels impossibly far away, we don't give up, we push harder, we dig deeper, and we find solace in the knowledge that our suffering is temporary and our resilience is forever.